Leader.
Member for Albany.
I rise today to raise a grievance with the Minister for Culture and the Arts concerning the well-utilised and highly valued interlibrary loan system. I thank the Minister for taking my grievance. In regional settings, the public library is the heart at our community. It is a place where people not only go to borrow books, but to meet friends, study, connect, find out about community events, attend story time with their children and a myriad of other things. This is the case in Albany, as it is the case, I'm sure, for many small regional towns in the Great Southern region and across WA. Over the last week, my Electorate Office has received correspondence from numerous concerned constituents who have been advised by the Albany Public Library that the interlibrary loans will be suspended. Constituents are walking into my office reporting they have been advised by our library that they can no longer borrow books via the interlibrary loan system. This advice is upsetting my community, and as I know it to be incorrect, I believe we need to set the record straight. My understanding is that the interlibrary loan service is still available to all public library users, and I seek your confirmation, Minister, that this is the case. My understanding is that since 2018, material requested by public library users that is not currently in a library collection is supplied in an electronic format in the first instance. I understand where an electronic version is unavailable or cannot meet the needs of the user, titles are purchased if they are still in print. Interlibrary loans are available when requested material cannot be supplied in either of these ways. I'm advised that from the 1st of July 2023 that there will be changes to the delivery method of the requested titles. Postage to some locations will be used rather than the current freight system. I understand that the method of delivery is only changing to take place from the 1st of July. I'm advised that 25 regional public libraries have suspended their interlibrary loan service since been advised of the change to the method of delivery of the interlibrary loan. The City of Albany posted a message on their website on the 26th of May 2023 to the effect that due to the impending changes to the State Library interloan system and associated courier services, we temporarily suspend the consortium reservations and interlibrary loan requests from the 1st of June 2023. My office is providing response to concerned constituents, clarifying that interlibrary loans are indeed and are still well available. Minister, can you please update the House as the status of the much-loved and well-patronised interlibrary loan system?
Minister for Culture and the Arts.
Yes, I can. Can I thank... No. Member for Roe, this is a very important issue. Well, he said disappointing. Well, sad, but anyway, you just got to be careful what you're saying. I want to thank the member for Albany for this important grievance. And look, like many in this place, we are all great supporters of our library systems, and I want to pay tribute to all of those library officers that work in our public libraries throughout Western Australia and regional Western Australia and the metropolitan area. For the wonderful job they do, and I think there's no more loved institution than the public library, and this government will continue to support public libraries very, very strongly. And as you know, in fact, I was only at my local library, the Mandurah Library, only 2 weeks ago, reading as part of the simultaneous storytelling reading that took place around the nation, actually, and I think other members may have been involved, included. Look, I do want to put to bed any concern that you and some of your constituents may have had with regard to the ongoing services that are provided by public libraries and, of course, supported by the State Library. As you're aware, the interlibrary loan system has been an integral service for communities and will continue. And it's coordinated by the State Library, and it ensures that lending and transport of library materials can continue between all 232 West Australian public libraries. But of course we do also know that the times have changed in terms of how materials are accessed. The service was established many decades ago when books and other materials were not so readily available, and either at low cost or online. So a lot of books weren't available online, and indeed the cost of print was higher Much of that has reduced. And borrowing between libraries provided a viable method for West Australians to access the materials they need. And while that interlibrary loan system remains vital for materials that are not readily available for purchase, the library, publishing and transport sectors have, of course, changed significantly in that time. And with the ever-increasing online availability of library materials and rising transport costs, it's imperative that the State Library works with the public libraries to deliver more sustainable services and more efficient and effective services to the community. And so what we've seen here, of course, is that in 2019 there were changes made to the service with minimal impact on library users. Material requested by public library users that is not currently in an individual library collection will be supplied in electronic format in the first instance, and for many that will be a very effective way of accessing the particular borrowing that they are attempting to access. Where that's not available in an electronic version is unavailable, or it can't meet the needs of the user, and there will be some people who won't appreciate or like to use that method. Fair enough. Then the title will be purchased if it's still in print, because we know that actually purchasing quite often purchasing a publication is actually quite often cheaper than sending it or posting one that might be in some other library. It's an efficiency and it makes sense. If that's not the case, interlibrary loans will then be available if the materials requested cannot be supplied in either of these ways. Makes sense. Electronically first, if that's not an option, purchase of the book. If that's not an option, then the traditional method or the older method of interloan will take place. So can I assure you, and I ask you to assure your constituents and all members to assure constituents that they will continue to be able to access those publications that they seek to access, and that those three methods in that order effectively will be the method of delivery. It'll be much more efficient, much more timely as well, in order to get publications to individuals. Now you're lucky and fortunate because you've also got a member of your staff at your public library who's a member of the State Library Board, and I'd certainly be hoping that that staff member, being cognisant of the State Library Board's operations, would of course be an advocate for disseminating this information, and certainly not ensuring that people are panicked or concerned. But it is cognisant for all of us to be aware of these changes, so that access to library materials and resources can continue. Because I actually think it's very, very important, no matter where you live in Western Australia, that you continue to have access to the resources and the publications that people seek to do through libraries. And indeed, during COVID, I was very impressed by a number of libraries that, even though they actually closed down during COVID, they came up with innovative ways for borrowing to continue. And indeed, there were a lot of learnings out of COVID by the State Library and by other libraries around the state that were able to adapt quickly to ensure that people remained connected through their local library, even though they may have been physically closed for certain periods of time for COVID-safe purposes. So, member, thank you for bringing this grievance to me. And as you have highlighted very clearly and sought clarification of, the method of delivery and those three means is the only change, and there is no need for a suspension of any of the processes. They should be continuing now, and I'd urge those libraries that have perhaps sought to temporarily close that to reopen them, because the access is an important one for their constituency as well.
Thank you, Minister.